At first, the accent's so charming. It's like,
And then once you guys start going at it,
she's like scratching her head.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, oh, yeah,
Darling.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, she's yelling. She goes, well, what go on? Go on. Last one to the airport buys breakfast. Day one. All right, Mike, let's get into the episode here.
What we doing?
What we do? Listen, we don't want no problems.
Yeah,
okay?
you don't want no smoke with this.
We're-
with us.
You don't want
Listen,
no
we're
smoke.
moving the product.
Don't
We're
want no
moving
smoke.
we moved
Yeah.
the guns.
Stop
Like,
bullying us. I
Yeah.
don't really understand.
Listen, don't play with us.
yeah.
As you,
Listen,
don't
I'm
play
trying
with
my
us.
best. You know, we on Wall Street, we moving and stuff. I mean, we're moving at a good pace. Y'all brought us the guns. I don't know
will
what we're
say I'm
supposed
quite
to do with the guns.
impressed with the way the young folks are moving.
He didn't think we could do it.
Yes,
And
he
the
did.
accent's fake. Let everyone know the accent is...
Oh, yeah.
I'm from
Oh, God,
Chicago. I'm a Chicago boy.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Yo, did you
And
hear the story about the accent?
No, please tell us.
Okay, so
On camera?
when you get
We're
the
not doing it, are we? Are we
Yeah,
filming?
no, we're going.
when we got the
Stop it.
Yeah, we're just
we in
going.
this
Yeah,
bitch.
we're flowing in.
We
We're flowing
slide
in.
right into
Yeah,
it.
we just-
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's organic. Don't look down.
No, it's kind of nice
Yeah.
because, like,
Yeah.
like with the regular talk shows, they're like, okay, and
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
But if you just ease in conversation,
Yeah.
like,
Okay, cool.
So the audition comes through and they say British educated Nigerian boy, and I'm like, I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. That could be a bunch of things, which it turns out it is. And so I go with something a little more British, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
a little bit more Londoner, but
Yeah.
not too high, not
Yeah.
too fancy.
Yeah, exactly. Just
And I tape it, set it, forget it. Everything's fine.
right.
Don't hear anything, right? I get the job. They're like, I'm taking care of my dad, right? Like, I'm chilling with my pops, watching him for the day. We go get pie. We're having a good time. Management's like, yo, where you at? Chicago. Cool. Can you be in New York tonight? By the way,
Always do that.
They
by
always
the
doing this
way,
shit.
you haven't got clearance from the producers yet. We haven't gotten the final okay, but we're pretty sure it's you. It's
They just want you there.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
just get here.
So they were gonna fly you? Or did they fly you? Or they
No,
said
you
get
flew
here?
yourself.
They say get here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Say get here, 'cause
Yeah.
you
They
know how I do.
don't fly.
You know how I do.
You got to get there on
You
your
know how
own.
I do.
That's
So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm calling my sisters. I'm like, all right, cool. Somebody come watch this old man, right?
Fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna be on power.
This has been nice.
I got to go.
I still love you, but I gotta roll.
Applesauce in the fridge. I'm out.
So I dip out, fly in, go to the hotel. They're like, you got a dialect session in the morning at 8. I report at 10. So 8 o'clock, meet with the dialect guy. We're like, okay, cool. He's British. He's been educated in London, so like, or in England. So let's go with a little bit more of that with
Yeah.
like the Nigerian undertone.
Right.
So we work on it for like an hour and a half. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. I think we're pretty good though. Like, we'll take this, right? He's like, yeah. I think it's great. Like, if you need any help, let me know. I report to set. I meet Brett. I meet Gary. Like, and I'm
Brett's the showrunner. Gary
yeah.
last season was a producing director.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for coming out. So glad to have you here. How was the dialect session? I'm telling him, I'm like, cool. We worked on like, we wanted it to be a little bit more British.
Right.
With the Nigerian undertone, right? Like, and they were like, yeah, no, definitely more Nigerian.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right, let's rehearse.
That was the morning of your first
Yes.
scene?
Wow.
Yes. That was
So they had you
truly
practice
right when
something completely different than
something
what they wanted.
completely different. And so we kind of like, I kind of just had to go like, okay, all right. It's Nigerian, but it's not too hard.
Right.
It's got that like British kind of sarcasm.
Yeah.
You pale
Side
little
eye.
gnome.
Yeah. And so we kind of had to play with it, and it just kind of like worked, and you kind of
Yeah.
find it, and then
shit go crazy.
Wow.
it was wild.
shit's fire.
It's taken
That's crazy.
three arcs on its way
Yeah.
to sounding like a unique person. I think part of it is like you want to sound like a pure person,
Right.
but nobody sounds like that. We all have like this history, so
Right, and
letting that
everyone
history.
kind of
Yeah.
When I was working on my British accent a little bit, there's a girl that I know. Her name's Elsie, and she's lived in America for a while.
Right.
She's lived in other places.
Right.
So her British accent is like Americanized British. Like, no one sounds like so
Right,
right. Everyone's kind of has this different thing. So once I let go of it being perfect, that's when
it fell in.
And one of the better feelings is when people are really interested in where you're from.
Right.
Right? Like, they don't know, but their interest is piqued enough to want to figure it out. And you're like, that's it. That's it. Like, you're getting there.
I think I got better at hearing the Nigerian accent because so for everyone who doesn't know, when we do a scene, Noma, Obi, Tariq, Braden, Kane, like you have to do everyone's coverage. So the more people in the scene, the longer it's going to take.
We have to do that scene.
As many,
So
plus wide and
what was the first scene where Obi in the
it was
warehouse?
us in the it was in the
we were in the apartment,
the penthouse
when
we
the penthouse.
That was a lot. When you were putting the photos down
that
was the first one. But the first one where we were in the warehouse. We did that thing. I'm not kidding. Maybe 100 times.
Yeah.
He kept slamming the photo down like Orphan Annie. Like, I know the whole scene because we did it so many times.
Which was the one I auditioned with.
That was your
scene I auditioned with.
Wow.
So wait, why do you have to do it 100 times?
Just because there were so many people in the scene.
Oh my
inserts of the photos.
He had that big gimbal setup thing.
Looking down
the robot.
Right.
That shit was crazy.
Like, so sometimes the director will do like everyone's coverage. You need to do a master of
6
everyone
of us had 6 coverages.
Right. And then sometimes they do a special. They go tighter. So there's a lot of there's a lot of coverage in that, especially the inserts you were putting down all the photos. So that's another.
That's another shot.
What was your audition scene? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, my audition was the scene with all us lot in the penthouse.
The first
that scene.
Did they change all the names?
Yeah, they did.
What was Tariq and Braden's?
Oh no, I didn't call your names in that scene. I didn't think I called you by name, but I think Mecca was called something else, like Barry or something random. I know, right? So I was like, when they changed it back, I had to remember it was actually Mecca. But
they changed it to keep it low key,
exactly, so there's no spoilers. And the Central Park scene where the arm.
Oh, that was the other audition.
That was the other audition, but I did one take of each. Because I had missed the audition. When it came in to my inbox, I had missed it for some reason. And months passed. Cool. Oh, God. And then they called and said, what's happening? And I was, I'm so sorry, I missed, I didn't see it when it came in. And they said, well, just do something today.
This was your agent or?
My agent had spoken to production. And production said, can you just do anything?
Oh, so they wanted you. They were like...
They had been looking for the character for a while.
What did they see when that they were like, do you know?
I think it might have been The Governor on Netflix, something like that, or Footballers' Wives. I don't even know. But they had seen me. They had been made aware of me. So apparently I'm a gangster.
You are.
Right? In real life.
Definitely are.
Because they were like, so they came back around and they were so lovely and said, look, just do anything. So I tape with my husband. He's my reader.
Shout out Adrian. Adrian's on Bel Air. He plays Uncle Phil.
Shout out to Uncle Phil.
Yeah, he came home, guys. He was knackered. And he hates taping me because he's like, you're long. Because especially if I'm doing a different accent.
Right.
So he came on, he was like, I'm knackered, it's midnight. And I was like, we've just got to do this, just one take. And he was like, literally one. I was like, yeah, so we did it. And I sent in a tape that was far from perfect. I was fluffing lines and I wasn't even like starting again. I just carried on going. And I sent it in and at the end I said, hey guys, this is the best I could do. It's not great. And they called the next day to say, when can you get here? And then I was like, oh, shit. Wow. Because I was like, wow, I really have to chop someone's arm off. I was like, damn, it's really going to happen. But
Did you do an American accent for it?
No, it was British. So they always wanted her to be from the UK. Right. And I love when I get auditions in my own accent because then it means I don't have to like study extra hard to, do the American accent.
Super weird? I don't.
You prefer accents, don't you?
Partly because of the way I sound. I sound so unique that people are like,
yeah, I agree.
And then it pops out so hard.
Yeah.
That they're like, we don't know what to do with that. I've had that my whole life.
Really?
Yeah, my whole life.
I would think that it like sets you apart kind of, no?
I had a voiceover teacher tell me one time, he's like, there's the things available are pretty limited.
Right.
In a good way.
Because it's you, right.
Right, like it's great. You get some amazing things. But things that would kind of go to a more normal sound are just not available.
Right.
I was a bass when I was like 14.
Wow.
you can't do a musical with a 14-year-old boy who sounds like this, right? Like, you gotta wait 30 years.
Right.
So sometimes the accent, because it sounds different, gives
like
a little bit more
magic.
leeway for it.
Right.
Absolutely.
What was your first TV thing you ever booked?
Oh.
Ooh, it was either Madam Secretary.
Oh, cool. Patina was on that, right?
Yeah, but I was a day player, bro. Like I had like one line. I played a lieutenant of some sort.
Nice.
I had to wear a dope-ass uniform.
Nice.
And then after that was Smilf.
Was Smilf?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually read for that show too.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a whole audition scene for that show where like someone came on my face. Like it was that show was crazy.
Yo, that show was hella crazy.
Yeah, it was.
That was my first like feature, and like I was in the pilot episode, right, as the dude who was playing basketball.
Right, Michael's
and then we like,
Michael?
So we had to like.
I just wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah, right.
At the audition, it was like we meet at the basketball court. We flirted a little bit,
Right.
And then
with Frankie Shaw, the lead of the show,
And then she fantasized about having sex with me, but then I tell her that her vagina's too cavernous.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, yo, this is wild.
Yeah, that show's
but I was
wild.
also like, I'm game.
Right.
And I think I ad-libbed the line, like, I ad-libbed the, like, hot dog in the hallway line. And she, like, loved it. But that was a weird show.
Yeah, that shows it got canceled after 2
Smilf.
seasons, but
I'm not
yeah,
surprised
it's called
by the
Smilf.
sound
What was
of
the first thing you did on TV?
Oh my goodness, I was 14. I booked a TV show in the UK called When Will I Be Famous? And I had to audition. They did a nationwide search. It chose 2 people from each region. And yeah, I booked it. It was crazy. I was 14 and never looked back. What about you guys?
That is crazy.
I know, Michael, you were like a baby, weren't you?
My first,
You like
Yeah.
fetus.
my first time on TV, I would say I did like a commercial for Price Choppers. But then like my first time on like a TV show was like I did like a small role in Law and Order. I don't even remember what episode.
You were in Law and Order?
Yeah,
Oh my
small.
goodness.
I was in it for like 2 seconds.
Which
That's
one?
right.
SVU?
You right?
I don't even remember, bro. I was like 8.
You were 8.
I gotta go and watch that.
And then I did Sesame Street. That's one thing I definitely remember. Yeah, Sesame
Someone
Street.
tagged me that the other day. I was about to post on the crew has it.
I was already
That I was hype
impressed,
about. I'm
but-
not gonna lie.
Oh my
And then like
God.
a few years ago, like my little cousin, my uncle's daughter, she was watching. She's like, I saw you. On
Yeah.
Sesame Street. I was like, yeah, that's me.
And now he's murdering people on
Right.
He was like Sesame Street, and he's like,
Wow. And you
Letters
too
are
as well. You were
D-I-N-E.
a baby actor as well.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't start professionally
yeah.
acting till I was 21.
Oh my
So
goodness.
the first thing I ever booked was it was a Hulu show called Chance
Yeah.
with Hugh Laurie, who actually
Oh, yeah.
went to, I went to
Yeah, yeah.
dinner
Love
with
him.
Courtney 2 weeks ago.
And saw him.
Courtney Kemp, and I saw Hugh Laurie walk by, and I
Did
was
you
like,
go
"Wow!"
up to him?
No, I didn't go up to him.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I didn't even have a scene with him. My scene was it was a co-star.
Yeah.
It was a flashback scene.
Yeah.
It opened the episode as a flashback scene of why this guy became a murderer, and I'm like pinning someone down and like shoving rocks
Oh,
down his
wow.
throat and killing
my
him.
goodness.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's so funny because I've always been like highly
Yeah.
comedic in my work.
But you get dark roles.
Right. So then that was like me
Wow.
murdering someone, like putting rocks down his throat. And then literally the next thing I booked was all in like a month span. I was on I had like a hot month. I did like the Mick, which is like high
Yeah.
comedy,
Yeah.
like Caitlin Olsen. And then I did like the Foster's ABC Family. So like I was kind of like everywhere. Yeah.
Wow.
But
I
yeah,
had
Yeah.
I had a completely different journey because I started theater and then I moved to dance,
Oh.
and then I kind of was doing the touring show, going around the world teaching people not to assault each other.
oh wait, that was your job?
Yeah.
Like, oh, damn.
Yeah, it's a show called Sex Signals. I would argue probably between 2004 and maybe, forgive me if you guys are still performing like crazy, but between 2004 and 2010, I probably have talked to about 25% of like, we've done probably 25% of the student population.
You went to
College student
schools?
Wow.
population.
What about
Colleges
high
and
school,
military.
middle school?
We did a little high school and middle school, but we
Right.
mostly dealt with like party culture stuff.
Right.
So we did colleges. I did every branch of the military. I did just about every academy.
Dude,
goodness.
I weirdly think I might have seen you.
You might have.
Because
Where'd you go to
you
school?
did like a performance, right?
Yeah. It was like
and
two people.
And then you would come out and talk about it.
Yeah. You've seen our show.
Dude, you literally might have gone to my high school
What high school?
in Rhode Island. Did you ever go to Rhode Island?
I don't know if we did a high school in Rhode Island. Maybe.
I'm so curious. That's interesting because I remember
Yeah,
seeing.
yeah. And it was
Oh
like
my
it was super. I always got the tough kids. Like I would get athletes,
Right.
and like Marines, and I loved it,
Right.
because I was about that action, right? Like
Right.
you can have some serious conversations with them, and like if you're accessible. Quite honestly, if they're like, he looks like he could get laid, I'd listen to him.
Right.
Right? Like
That's why we
Yeah.
got.
Right.
You saw me, you're like, this
Yeah.
guy's killing it. I'm like, what do we got to say, Kyle?
But it took me all over the world. And then, like, I think I hit a point in Chicago where I was kind of not sure what I wanted to do next.
Right.
I was mostly directing and making work.
Nice.
And so I applied to grad school as a director. And the head of the program, or the head of the directing program was like, you sure? You sure you finished? I don't know. I feel like the acting thing is still in there. And I was like, okay. And that's how he was right.
Damn.
Yeah.
He was
That's
right.
crazy.
Yeah.
And you started in music and then switched over to acting?
No, I've always wanted to be I've always wanted to be an actor. I
Right.
was meant to be a doctor. My parents want me to be a doctor.
Nigerian.
Yeah, exactly. Right? But I did get signed along the way. I was saying earlier to Gianni, I
Yeah.
can't really sing. My voice is just mediocre. It's normal. But I went to this open audition that was televised in the UK, and I stood up and I acted like a singer. I had all the attitude. I looked
Yes.
the part. I did the head. I did the swivel waist. Did a little bit of twerk, and they signed me.
Damn.
But my heart, I've always wanted to be an actor. I've always
Yeah.
known. I mean, I think once you're bitten by the bug, that's it.
Yeah.
Did you
Right.
guys always know that you wanted to be actors, or
I
you-
did from when I was
you knew?
young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would see it on TV. I'd be like, damn, this would be cool to be like, an actor or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I never been like, oh my god, I gotta be an actor. But
But it happened for you so young.
yeah, it
like,
was weird. Like it just happened, and
Yeah.
like once it started happening, I'm like, oh, I like this. I could do this. And then
Yeah.
I went to Italy for a year and a half.
Really?
That's when I
Alright.
did my
Yeah,
first
yeah.
movie.
And that's why you speak Italian.
Yeah, it's called Un altro mondo.
Oh
yeah.
my
And that was the first
goodness.
movie I've ever done.
You spoke Italian in episode 303.
Yes,
Yeah, I did,
really
yeah,
done.
yeah,
And
yeah.
five
They,
as
fi-
well.
they,
You
they,
did
they
five,
were
yeah.
trying to figure out how to get it in there.
Oh,
They did
my
really
God.
well.
So
They
wait,
did well.
Michael, sorry, are you from a family of actors?
No, I'm from a family of just workers, like
Regular
hard workers.
people, yeah.
My grandmother, she moved from Jamaica when my mom was like 13.
Yeah.
So my mom been out here. She started her own business when I was like super young. I was like 3, 4. She was a teacher at first. She was like a high school, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like now it's just me. I'm just like the first artist really in
That's
the
amazing.
in the family. But
Wow.
yeah, I was like 9. I was like 10, 9 turning 10 when I moved to Italy. And then after I did that, I was like, I could get used to this traveling,
Oh, yeah,
learning
yeah,
new learning new cultures, like.
Yeah.
Just,
He's like the
and I also went to
Yeah,
He's like, traveling's cool though.
Yeah. And the fashion, man.
Yeah, nah, yeah,
Your
it's-
clothes.
it's
and-
crazy. It's crazy.
I didn't-
Food, yeah.
Back then it was like it wasn't wearing drip like this in the shows, but yeah,
Right.
it was still
Can I just say
fire.
the drip on the show, guys?
Insane.
Oh, yeah.
The
Insane.
drip and this
Unstoppable.
episode. What were you guys wearing,
I was wearing
please?
some Tom Brown. Yeah, I was wearing Tom Brown.
You had
Brown.
like 4
the
different
grays.
looks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
the gray- yeah, it was
different
all-
color of
That-
grey.
First of all, that ombre coat.
Yeah,
When I saw it on set, I was like,
yo,
yo,
that's just fire.
I
What
see
size is that? What size is that?
In it.
Yeah, because we're in suits most.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the most of the episode, and then I think I had a Burberry vest
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
And then,
yeah.
that
Tom Brown
yeah,
under it,
puffer.
right?
What
No,
was
the
that
puffer
from?
was so sick
Yeah.
because I got to set, and obviously I was working with the white supremacists to
Right.
sell the guns.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm curious what my fit's gonna be because you kind of have to appeal to them,
Yeah.
but also like honor who Braden is in the
Right,
show.
right.
Bro, that puffer, it was like
Yeah.
kind of orange camouflage, Amiri.
Yeah.
I had on the, which I don't even think, I was trying to look for them. The camera didn't even get them, but I had on the Yeezy desert boots on.
Yes.
They were
those ones.
so fire. I don't even think the camera even got them. Like, how much did they spend on these? But
Yeah.
the outfits
Honestly,
are
guys,
insane.
can I
What
just
was your
say-
favorite outfit you've worn so far?
I've
Up to
worn-
304.
I guess it would have to be. I wore a fire suit that's coming up in Ep 5.
Nice.
Alexander McQueen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
The clothes on this show, guys, it's going to ruin me, though.
Yeah, it's already
It's
ruined.
ruining my life.
It's already
Are
ruined.
you like that now? I'm
Yeah, it's
a
ruining.
snob about
It's
clothes
bad.
now.
Yeah, you go
You know-
shopping like,
Yeah, we're
it's-
like, oh, Zara's no longer good.
Right.
It's got to be,
it's bad.
yeah.
They scar us.
It's
Yeah.
complete ruin,
Virgil
especially when you
Goodman.
go to other projects.
and then they
Oh,
don't have
yeah.
the same shades. Like, oh,
You're like, oh my
we
God.
have to
Right.
wear this. Like,
It's only YSL.
One of the things for me is because my mother sewed.
Oh,
all of
that's
it.
why you're good
And
at fashion.
And my pops was like a clothes horse, but like they were like quality things.
Right.
So like when I got here, I was like, oh, this stuff is tailored. So I was actually so impressed with the tailoring on the day.
Right.
To me, I'm like, that
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Take your
They'll come into your
measurements
dressing
same
room.
day.
Yeah.
I get a little
Take your
too
measurements
message.
same day,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Right.
Like the quality of that is impeccable. And so to me, like a quality suit is what my mother and my father taught me to respect.
Right.
So
Gotta
being
respect.
able to wear them all the time, and I swear to you, summer of 2021, right? Summer of 2021, I was talking to my managers, and I was like, "Yo, you guys gotta stop sending me out for this nice guy shit. I'm not that.
Right.
Like, I'm not that guy.
Right.
I'm a kind man.
You're not that guy,
but
pal.
I'm not
but
trying to-
yeah,
you're
you're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal.
I was like,
Not
yo,
doing
I'm a drop 10, bro.
Right.
Rock that.
Right.
And they're like, okay. And so when this show came up, I was like, yo, finally.
Right.
Yeah.
Highly
oh my
tailored.
God.
And they've seen your work, obviously, so far, and they've fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is great. And so to me, the quality of the
Clothes.
clothing is
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
been.
this season was tough for me
Yeah.
because I absolutely hate suits.
Oh,
Season 3 was
really?
tough for me.
I loved it. I loved this season.
Yeah,
It was
you
different
look
because they
fire.
had the suits with the
Yeah.
sneakers, with the J's. Like, we
Yeah.
would be wearing suits with J's and shit. I was
And
like,
with the hoodie and
yeah, with the hoodies, like
oh.
casual suits, and then sometimes we're throwing like the real dressy suits.
and once you
sporty
Yeah.
suits.
once you learn how that stuff is made,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
It's-
there's no going back.
it's a
You
turn on,
guys,
bro.
It's
there's
a
no
turn
going
on.
back after
Yeah.
this.
It's it. That's it. It's a
Yeah.
wrap. Like,
Yeah.
I
They
wear
can
this the rest of my
get
life.
$300
And every
t-shirts.
production I go on from here on out, the
look at
stuff
the
that me
clothes,
and
I'm like,
Michael
yeah.
make, like we're gonna be like, why is this budget so big? Like, well, we need the Amiri.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are doing a horror comedy.
You still need a
Everyone
mirror.
needs to be in a mirror.
It's
It's a football movie.
Yeah. We need a mirror shoulder pad. Yeah. All right.
Oh, man.
Did you guys know that your internet provider is most likely selling all of your information? I didn't know until now.
ExpressVPN is super simple. It encrypts your data and it sends it straight through a super secure VPN server.
So, Michael, just for me, for an example. So, if I was looking up how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if it could chuck woodchuck wood, if I was just looking that up off a whim, no one would know.
Nah, you'll be fine. You know, I'm telling you, ExpressVPN got you. We send everything through the super secure servers. No one can see a thing.
I wish
Nothing.
I wish I knew this earlier.
Listen, download it right now. You can search it up. The list of people you message, the sites that you visit, the videos you watch, the pictures you look at. It's all overlooked by tech giants that could literally sell your information for profit if they felt like it. Isn't that crazy? Literally everything you looked up in history could be sold right now. But if you use ExpressVPN, that can't happen. Bro, stop panicking. Just download ExpressVPN.
ExpressVPN is the best way to hide your online activity from your ISP.
Go to expressvpn.com/crewpod and you get 3 extra months free.
That's expressvpn.com/crewpod.
CREWPOD. Crewpod, baby. Now back to the episode.
We
Yeah.
brought on, obviously, Caroline, Chikezie.
Yes.
That's how you pronounce it. Kyle, Vincent, Tariq.
Yes.
We brought on Noma and Obi. They wanted
You guys
to.
have cool ass names.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Fire ass names.
I know. Wait, so you don't like watching yourself, though, right?
Oh God,
Me
I
too.
cringed.
Same.
I read
Which is why we wanted to recap this with
Yeah.
this episode because
Yeah.
I knew you wouldn't watch
I hate
the
to
other
see
episodes.
myself. I'm
But
like,
now with being like
cringing.
being on Ghost,
Right.
I have no choice but to watch.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
right.
It's so
I'm getting
weird.
better at it.
Yeah, like
Yeah, you literally do a podcast where
Yeah.
you recap the show.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
Exactly.
Like,
You need to watch it.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
watching myself, bro.
Me
Especially,
too.
Like, when
My
I first started in
voice,
Power,
everything.
I'm like, why did I say that? Like this, like what am I doing? But now it's like, damn, I gotta watch
Yeah.
myself. Gotta.
Oh, wait, can I give a shout out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I gotta give a shout out to my boy, Miles Bullock, who played Slick on BMF.
Okay. I don't
So-
know. I've never heard of that show. But
So
go
we,
on.
Yeah, right.
so me and him were in grad school at the same time. We were at a theater festival for the summer, and I remember that was like 2015, and like Power was popping then, right? Like, but it was not a lot of us there. And randomly he's humming the song, right? Like, and I was like, yo, you watch that? And he was like, yeah. I was like, yo, this song is so cold and the show is so tight. And we're like, yeah, I know. And I actually was talking to him. I was like texting with him the other day. He's like, yo, I'm loving the role. I was like, yo, remember when we were talking about that theme song? Isn't that crazy that we're both in like
That's
the 50s?
I love
fire.
moments like that.
Like,
Full
that's
circle shit.
crazy.
Right.
Full circle shit. That's crazy.
Wow.
Like, we're both
Right.
That's fire.
in that
I
world.
absolutely love that. It's
Hell
weird
yeah.
to interrupt the podcast and shout out BMF, but no. To come on here and we invite you into our home, and you just kind of do that to us, but we can forget about it.
It was like, say
But yeah, no, I love shit like that. Like, dude, like that's my
Yeah.
whole life.
But I was kind of
full
speaking to
circle
the idea of like, you gotta watch it now.
Right. Yeah, have
Yeah.
to.
Right? Like, I would
no
not
choice.
like to watch myself either, but it's part of this thing that
Right.
like,
You have to.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right, like,
Right.
it's nothing
Exactly.
else.
Right.
And now I'm
Yeah.
hooked. I'm hooked on the show.
Yeah.
now.
Right. And your scenes, this start like this episode 304, that
Yeah.
first scene with
Captivating.
you, so
So
good.
much
You got to
fun.
sell the guns.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the driving
Hell
thing
no.
this episode with Noma, Obi. We have to obviously take over.
Right.
Mecca's,
Y'all coming in fucking shit
right.
up, man.
Guns,
Yeah.
like
The
Right.
pressure's there, right?
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, whoa.
We don't know.
We just
we
wanted
don't
to
know
sell
no
cocaine.
Gun.
Right.
We don't know the gun business.
What's this
Right.
illegal stuff?
right.
Yeah,
We should move these through Weston Holdings, like.
What are you gonna do? Sell them to the investors?
Right, exactly. So that's kind of the pressure on the organization this episode where we have to move the guns, and it's something new to us. It's so funny because like all cap or no cap, all frap is up and running. Everything's
Yeah,
going
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Everything's
yeah.
going well. It's like, of course.
Of course, it has to be something.
Right, but
Boom,
that's
sell these
TV.
fucking
Something
guns.
go wrong.
I make this
Cut
joke.
these guns.
I make this joke
Yeah.
every day. I'm like if the product's just moving and everything's going great, there's no show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So everything's going good.
Yeah.
Here's some guns for you.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's kind of the driving that, and then also we have the Tejadas. We have
Right.
we have obviously the
family's
Kane
falling apart,
and the Kane and Lorenzo
Lorenzo beef.
situation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We also have Monet
And
And Diana.
and Diana.
That shit was
Dynamic.
I love
Yo,
that.
shit.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was watching that shit had me on my
whole-
toes, bro. I'm
oh
like,
my God, I love all of that. I
So
love all of that.
when we did that table read
And the
last
chocolate is
year,
beautiful.
304, we did the table read. And when Diana was going into, like when she was talking to him saying, we thought she was ratting.
Right.
And,
yeah.
and,
Yeah,
and I'm not. She wasn't
Yeah.
though.
I knew right away,
But
yeah.
did the audience knew that she wasn't?
Yeah.
I knew she was.
I knew she wasn't.
I knew
Right.
she wasn't.
Yeah.
So, but there is like a little, now the episode's out, there is like a little like,
Moment.
is she going behind Monet's back?
Yeah.
at first I'm like, no
No
way.
way.
Right.
Because I'm like, if she was doing it, I don't think she would just dive like head first
Yeah.
into
Right.
the water like that. I'm like,
Right, there would
Yeah,
need to
I
be a
agree.
You
build
gotta
up.
like, she's there's something else to this.
Well,
She's
I-
being a little smart.
I
She's
also
being
feel like she wants something from Monet. Right?
Right.
She wants that love from Monet.
Right.
So to go behind her back would be against what she actually
Yeah,
wants.
Right.
exactly.
I do love that Monet was like, you know, I'm sorry this happened, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to hear?
Like,
Is that what you need to hear?
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
what?
The way she played it, she killed it.
Right.
Mary.
doing this?
She dropped
And,
that.
and Latoya, even I talked to her, she was like, yeah, right when I read that. Because like when you get, you say, you,
getting scared.
you,
I know she
you
was
run
getting
to your
scared.
lines, you're like, what do I have?
Yeah.
She was like, wait, I'm going behind Monet's back.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's all
She's like,
part of
oh,
like this.
shit.
Yeah.
She's
So
like,
that's the worst thing that you guys could get, right? To see in a script that you're
A
ratting
rat?
on someone.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
one
yeah.
wants to be the rat in
Oh,
there.
hell no.
Yeah,
Once
it's
you
not-
rat, you're
Ew.
super expendable.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know
I
what
mean,
that
you're
means.
expendable. You're expendable
Yeah.
from the
Regardless,
beginning.
right.
That
Yeah.
Once you rat, I mean, you
Yeah,
jump in the
that's
whole.
it.
Once you're at,
fire.
you know you have, unless you're
Yeah.
an anomaly, Rotimi,
Yeah.
aka Dre, who survived as a rat for 5 seasons. Because he became a rat
real.
season 2.
Wow.
That's real.
Yeah, it might
He
have been
did-
like 4 or 5
he
seasons,
got
yeah.
busted early.
He might be the longest running rat on television history,
History ever.
because it just they loved him. They
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
this,
yeah.
what he brought to the show, and they
Yeah,
kept
he was
him.
devious.
But
Yeah.
That was
I
the
think if you're a
devious.
rat, you got like
Yeah.
4, maybe 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lauren,
Oh,
So-
she was a rat?
well, yeah, because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
That's what she's saying.
so tell everyone you haven't watched the show because
Yeah.
you did what I did. I didn't
Yeah.
want to know more than what I should. I didn't want to
Absolutely.
bring the essence of the show to it. I wanted to
Yeah.
do my own thing. So explain kind of what your
Yeah.
process was.
So for me, when I got cast on the show, obviously I was aware of it because it's everywhere and it's a great show.
Right.
I'd probably seen episode 1 of season 1, and then I got it, and then it was like, "Are you going to watch it? Binge watch it to catch up?" And I thought, you know what? No, I'm not, because I want to come in fresh energy
Right.
and just bring the character to the show as
Because
is.
the character is new in that world.
Exactly.
We're
You wanna be
outsiders.
new in that
Exactly.
world.
And I wanted to, so I chose not to. And I'm
Right.
so glad I did. But I did get the scripts. I requested and I read up on them.
Nice.
But I didn't
So you
watch it.
read 3 seasons?
I read them. I sat and read them all.
God, that's
so I
crazy.
couldn't, because there's a lot of backstory stuff that
Right.
happens, like the whole Mecca,
shit, yeah.
Right.
and I needed
Oh,
to
so
know.
that's the stuff you wanted to really
I
see.
needed to
Yeah.
know what was going on.
that's your
yeah,
world in the show.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
So
fire.
so basically,
Monet.
Lauren
That's
was
fire.
Yeah, right.
Lauren. She wore a wire,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
has
yes, she did.
info of Tariq, Braden,
Yeah.
and Kane on the wire. So that's why
right.
we went to
Took
go
her
kill
out.
her.
Yeah.
She survives. That's why she's in the house. So
Yeah.
this episode, we see her actually saying names.
Yeah.
Like
Damn.
she needs to go.
Yeah.
Like she's saying names to Jenny Sullivan.
Yep.
And
She talking.
She'd be
talk.
talking.
So it's like, what do you guys think? Like,
Yeah.
like obviously, if you're a rat in power, you got limited time. Like, your prediction? What do you
I
think?
mean, it depends. It depends what kind of rat you are and who you rat on. So,
I think.
you know,
He just loves Paige.
I think it is. No, also as well. Also, guys, can I just say,
joking.
because she's just survived a murder attempt,
Right.
you're allowed at that. Don't you think? At that point, you can say whatever the hell you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I
No.
guess.
Wait, I don't know what you
It's so-
mean. I
so
feel
she-
like you gotta go. You gotta go.
No.
now once you rat, you rat.
No. So when she gave names to Jenny
Right.
after the fact that she'd been the attempted murder,
Right.
I think at that point it's fair game. No.
Fair game in what sense?
She's-
So I think it's fair
yeah.
game for her to die. If you rat, no, I'm just saying, like if you rat, that's it.
That's it.
And so
Period.
it's so funny
Oh,
because
okay.
because Alex said this in the
Yeah.
301 recap when we did
Yeah.
the live show. She said, "You guys were mad at me when you guys were saying she's a rat, she needs to die. Then I killed her."
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, "You killed her. How did you kill her?" It's like
Yeah.
you can't win.
Oh yeah.
But if you rat, you got to go. But
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
If there was an attempted murder on you,
Yeah.
she can kind
can
of
sing
say
like a
it. But
canary.
she was saying shit.
She's still
anyways.
ratting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like
Well, she-
almost dying ain't dying.
If you got a battle with someone who's
Almost dying,
killing you,
ain't
you just
dying.
gotta kill them. You don't rat on them.
Right.
You almost
Oh
die
wow,
every day.
really?
Right. Yeah, you gotta get back.
Yeah. This.
You gotta
I mean,
go.
this
Yeah.
fan base
Right.
is
You gotta get back.
tough.
Yeah.
They go
You
crazy.
gotta get back.
Yeah.
We're gonna take another quick break from the episode. We're gonna talk to you about our friends at ShipStation.
Now, when it comes to saving money as a small business owner, every little bit helps.
ShipStation gives you access up to 84% off on USPS and UPS prices.
And you could even manage every single order from one simple-to-use dashboard.
And when you lower shipping costs, your customers stay happy while you save money.
Using the ShipStation dashboard is so easy. And right now, there's a free trial for a quick and easy setup. So get to it. What you waiting for?
Bro, the boys, we're
saving a
saving
lot.
so much money on our Crew Has a store.
I mean, listen, we use our sponsors, baby. We use our sponsors.
I'm using the ball preserver right now.
Listen, ShipStation effortlessly integrates with any website that you're using to make it super easy. Just like Etsy, eBay, what else? Amazon,
Shopify.
literally everything.
So worry less about the bottom line when you save money with ShipStation.
Now look, go to ShipStation.com, sign up and use the code THECREW for your 60-day free trial. Let's do it.
And again, that's ShipStation.com, code the crew.
Listen, use the code. We're giving you 60 days, man. 60 days free. 60 days free.
You have a business, you have merch, you have stuff you want to sell, ShipStation makes it easy.
Start saving on them shipping costs, baby.
Yep.
It adds up. It
Back
adds
to
up.
the episode. So we also, in this episode, we have Monet
Yeah.
Right.
finding out at the end.
Yeah.
We can kind of go to that. But you see Kane get his life saved by Lorenzo.
Lorenzo.
So you see them kind of make a little allegiance again and kind of that they're close. So at first I'm like, I'm watching this episode, I'm like, this won't sustain itself. Either Kane needs to die,
Yeah.
Lorenzo needs to die, or they need to come to some type of agreement.
Yep.
So obviously in power, like it's a thing, like someone dies or they come to agreement. So we see the agreement this episode.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, maybe we can see this going forward, them being amicable again. And then you see at the end of the episode,
Ooh.
Monet finds out that
Yeah.
Lorenzo's handprints are on the gun.
Damn.
Now, will she find out? She could. It could, it could get put under the rug. We don't know.
No.
But right now, that's where we end this episode, and I think it's super interesting. So
And
what
that
do you-
could like ruin, what Kane has over Lorenzo, because Monet now is like his discretion is gone. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
now Monet already knows.
Right. So
Exactly.
do you think Kane having power over the Tejada family over the last 2 or 3 episodes, do you think it helped them or do you think it hurt them? Because I'm curious.
I feel like it helps them as a business and hurts them as a family.
Wow, that's good. That's interesting.
Right.
But then
Like-
again, you see the decision that he made, and
Exactly.
then Lorenzo went against that decision and saved
everyone.
Right.
So I agree.
So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know
Right.
who really is,
Right.
who
But-
really is should be.
But
the
I think
shot caller.
the thing that's dangerous about Kane is that he's kind of business first with family interwoven, and Lorenzo feels like he's family first with
the
business
business
interwoven.
Right.
And I think if you're looking at who's gonna like try to hold everybody down and do it for the sake of them, Lorenzo's the guy.
100%.
Yeah.
Kane's the opposite.
Kane just wants the money. He just
And
wants
Yeah.
it's it's tomato to me, but
Yeah.
like also Kane is younger.
Yeah.
And he got that anger, and that to me,
got that dog.
that's what happens. That's what happens with boys, right? Like, is it was it like stunted growth?
Right.
That could be a problem, right? So to me, I'm like, oh yeah. At some point, when he stood up and Lorenzo didn't say anything,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you got to put him down.
Right.
You got to do
But you
something.
know
He's
what,
too
though?
big. You got to
gotta
put
do
him down.
something.
Yeah.
Every I don't know
He's
about
getting
y'all,
too-
but like
Yeah.
in our family, that's something that happens with every young man.
Right.
Where you like smell yourself and you're like, what's up? And
Yeah,
the old man's like, what you mean, what's up?
Right,
and you're
right.
like, we got to do this.
Right.
And you're like, all right, we did it. As long as you didn't back down, you're still the big dog.
Right.
But it felt like he kind of.
Yeah.
I like the way he played that though. I thought
Oh, yeah.
I could tell that he was kind of humoring him. There was
Yeah,
once
yeah,
we
yeah.
kind of actually laughed, like, because he understood. Listen, you think you know everything. You trust me, you don't.
Right.
And he gave him the space. Okay, run the show, and it played out. You know, we saw how it played out. That he actually needed his dad in the end.
yeah,
So I
really.
think, he smashed it that way, and I was so relieved for their relationship.
Yeah.
When obviously Kane was so like grateful,
yeah.
and then at the end, that's why this show is so good.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what it's like? It's like the sweet and sour gummies.
Yeah.
Yeah, first it's sweet, then it's
Sour,
sour.
yeah, right.
Like there's always something around the corner.
Right.
And when you have that mix, then it's something that is moreish. You keep them coming back for more. And they
Right.
really killed it with this episode.
Right when you
with the
feel
twist
it's
at the end.
resolved. Right when you feel it's resolved.
Because you know
It's like,
Monet's
oh,
not letting that go.
Yeah.
Monet's not letting that go. And the
Right.
way
Fuck
she
no.
smoked that cop, cold-blooded.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
Detective Whitman.
So
Yeah.
say goodbye
That
The way
to.
she
Yeah.
smoked
Yeah.
Whitman.
Say hi to Carrie.
Say
Boom.
hi to
Yeah.
Carrie.
No hesitation,
Right.
I'm excited for her and Noma,
Right.
That's
Her
what
and
happens
Noma
when you
need
get
to
too
rumble.
overzealous, man.
I'm
Detective
curious,
Whitman, he was
curious,
going.
yeah.
He was eager.
Oh, yeah, he was
too
doing
hungry.
too much.
He was too hungry.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
Like
he
old
thought,
boy,
he thought
like the
Diana was
TA.
on her side. He
He
thought
did.
Diana was on
Too.
his side. He was ready. He was like, oh.
Yeah.
He took that too.
Yeah, he lost
took
his
that
damn
too-
mind
too
because if
easy.
he hadn't, he would have
Yeah.
realized this is bloody setup.
Yeah,
Right.
Come
yeah.
on now.
He took
Yeah.
what Diana was giving him. too
Served him
easy.
right.
I'm curious. What do you think? Who takes over the tide of him? Like who in number one makes them the best as a unit? Like obviously we see Kane does not make smart moves.
Monet for me.
You think Monet?
Yeah.
But you think Monet, but it ruins the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like it's tough.
Oh,
Like what do you
gotcha.
think makes them run the smoothest?
I think it's
Maybe Monet. Do you think Drew?
I think it's Drew.
Oh,
interesting.
Drew's a good balance.
Drew.
Right.
Drew gets distracted,
Yeah.
Drew is the least flashy,
Yes.
and that's usually what.
Well, he
gets
did
people
wear a
caught up.
Givenchy hoodie that.
Yeah, I was like, well, what happened to the car?
Yeah.
But he's the least flashy.
Yeah.
He has like that interesting
And he cares about
dynamic with the
business
play
and
country.
family.
But
That's
like,
true.
yeah.
Right.
He
True.
clearly wants to balance both. He wants his respect,
Yeah.
which is necessary.
Right.
I feel like he keeps them. the
I
most.
agree.
I think I like the mix of Lorenzo and Monet, and I'm like, it's like
Same.
he cares about the family.
Yeah,
and the
yeah, yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Right.
He keeps everything balanced. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Does his thing.
Also, I mean, listen, it's crazy that this isn't the first thing we talked about, but we've known for a year and a half. Michael Rainey Jr. What did Tariq finally get?
Yeah.
Yeah, the boy done got him a little whip, man. The boy done got him a
that was
little
funny.
Porsche 911
Said I was-
GT3. You know what I'm
Did they
saying?
ask you what you wanted?
Yeah, they
And that was the car you
yeah.
said.
Yeah, they gave me a option between a Porsche, Audi R8. I forgot what other car. It was another coupe, but it was whatever. I was like, nah, he gotta
Yes,
he
that
gotta
was
go. He
wild.
gotta go
Gorgeous.
crazy. He gotta go Porsche. Like they've been asking.
Yeah.
This is like after you know Porsche is the best you can get. It's the
I'm gonna
best
be
you can
honest.
get.
I'm
I like a Porsche.
I'm not a car guy at all, and
Yeah.
even I was excited.
Yeah.
Like that pulled
That's
up, I was
fire.
like, oh my.
And that's my
And
that's
that's
my
what's
dream
happening
car
to
in
me.
real life too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Michael drives
Porsche
nice.
911 GT3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael.
Porsche
He tried to
911
buy it from
GT3.
Seth.
Yeah, I was like,
that car.
I'm taking this home today. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, we gotta keep it for the season. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it suits you.
But
So-
yeah,
so-
911 GT3 dream car.
You get a car. That line is so
Listen,
funny.
I was
I
like,
was a
yeah.
black
I went,
man.
I went from a BMW to a Porsche. He was like, you never had a car? He said, listen, man, I was a black man walking before
I
I
love
got
that line.
He said,
So
he
good.
said,
I love
fuck
that
is you
line.
talking
Did,
about?
did Ferg write a little on this episode? Because was he here last year? I know I think German wrote this episode because I looked at the call sheet before.
Yeah.
So it was German. But I'm curious because I remember having this
Ferg
conversation
might
with
have,
Ferg.
I don't know. I think he might have had his
Maybe,
hands
yeah,
on this a little
maybe
bit.
they co-wrote
I'm not
it together.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, honestly, finally, because
Finally,
people were
everybody was going crazy. They're
going
like,
crazy.
please get a car this season. Please get listen.
Walking.
Tariq got a car this season. He got insurance. I'm saying registered all that. We good now. We rolling.
Well, people are
Lit.
always saying Tariq doesn't have a car. Like, how's he doing all these drug deals? It's like, it's New York City.
New York City, man.
New
You
York
know,
City. You don't really
Exactly.
need
got
a
a
car.
driver. You know,
Yeah.
Uber. You know, we got friends. You know, my guy Braden. You know,
Exactly.
Right.
He got
Right.
the Benz. But listen, we got the Porsche now. We in motion. Porsche 911 GT3.
I'm curious. I'm
Chilling in
curious.
traffic.
Well
Yeah.
worth the wait.
Right. It is the perfect car for the
Yeah,
wait. because-
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious if any crazy shit happens in that Porsche this season. I'm curious if there's any.
Oh.
Action.
Well, you know, man.
I don't know.
You know, Tariq. You know, he goes. You know, there's always something happening to Tariq. Always
I
something
actually
happening.
don't know. I was just curious. I was like, asking. I was like, do I remember if there's any crazy scenes in that car? But I guess we'll see. We're
Might
only
be
at
sliding
episode
over cars while
Every
he
time
shoots.
he got out, there was somebody else in it, but like it was a different person. It was like every episode.
Right. So you said earlier when he was talking
I'll
about
do a drive-by in the 911.
speaking Italian.
Yeah.
They also brought up Lucas Weston and RSJ
Yeah.
brought up there's an Italian business
Yeah.
that they want to get involved in. Tariq knows Italian. I'm curious if we get that payoff where there's a potential that you use that Italian next episode.
Yeah, man. You know, Tariq got to put all the skills to use. You know?
Right.
He knows Italian. It could work in some world for
Right.
him. So.
Italian investors, potentially. There's a lot
Yeah.
that we could do with that storyline. I love the
Investors,
RSJ
businesses.
character. I think Benga's so dope.
He opens up the
yeah.
world for the show.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
He opens up the world for the show.
Love
Right,
it.
and I really think that's what people loved about Power was that it was like international, like they went to Miami, they were
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
with the
Yes.
Colum.
Yes.
Like, I think doing a little bit more of that,
Yeah.
this season is going to
Stepping
be
out the world, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? We gotta get up out there.
because it's always New York. It's always New York, and it's good to like
Yeah.
get in different environments. Like, do you remember that Miami episode? And
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it
that
for-
was season 2, I think.
Yeah, season two. You didn't go to Miami,
No,
but
I didn't go to Miami.
but it's cool to see like the characters that you watched in their familiar settings and totally somewhere new.
Oh
Right.
God, yeah.
It-
So
Yeah.
maybe we'll
fun.
get that next
I hope
episode.
so.
Maybe that's a little
We gotta
weird.
get
Yeah.
it. We gotta
Well,
go
yeah,
somewhere.
well,
I'd be
it was
okay with
well
that.
played. I like the way Tariq played that with RSJ.
Right.
It had the intelligence of him, and but the pressure that he was put under
Yeah,
by
but
your
it's-
by
it's
Uncle
an
Luke.
internship.
They're like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
you
was a
need to
bit
sign a
much.
huge contract with us, or you're done. I'm like, all
I
right.
was like, okay, pressure
it's
much.
just it's an internship,
Yeah.
but fuck it, we make it do what it do.
Yeah.
Right. He's doing a
But
great job, both of them.
yeah.
Benga and David Walton.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh man,
They're
yeah.
fire.
I love that guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
they're
great.
I love that guy. He's so
fantastic.
great. He's so
Yeah.
great. I did want to point out that the like privilege exercise in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Oh my goodness.
Because it was really interesting how far down you ended up because I had to do that exercise plenty of times and I always ended up way farther down than people like think you're gonna be.
Right.
And sometimes that's like not
We mean
that's
further towards the front.
further
Yeah.
towards the
Yeah.
front than people expect when they
Yeah.
look at you.
Right.
Which is always like an interesting point to me, like seeing you that far ahead. It's like, right. Because I remember being like, I'm actually pretty privileged.
Right.
Right. Like, yeah, my father was in the joint, but like that taught me a lot. That prepared him to teach me a lot of lessons about things that a lot of people don't get.
Right.
Right. So you ending up in that place might not be because the person ahead of you or the your parent was in a better place. It might be because they were in a worse place.
Right.
What
It's
they
not-
went through and
Yeah, there's
what they can
a
teach
lot
you
of
through what they
nuance to
learn.
that.
Yeah, I agree. Because sometimes there's like, you grew up around a lot of rich kids. You grew up around a lot of poor kids.
Yeah.
Most of the rich kids that I grew up with,
Also.
like, sure, they're comfortable.
Yeah.
But they're not happy.
They're not happy.
Yeah.
They don't work for anything, which, sure, it's a privilege in a sense,
Sure.
but like,
they don't have no sense of accomplishment.
nothing. They can never
Take a
feel
lot
like
for
I
granted.
did this.
Right.
It's always a comfort. So me personally, I think that's like it's a stunt.
Yeah.
When I was real young, my dad had a lot of money. By the time I was like 7 or 8,
Yeah. And then you're like, now what?
Right.
I haven't been prepared for this.
I was so happy like now because I'm like, if my dad had all that, I would be a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were
wouldn't have no drive, you wouldn't be
destitute, so
driven.
I was like, I
Right, right. I gotta figure this out.
Like, obviously, there's other privileges, all that stuff,
right,
education.
right.
But I really think like the whole money thing is such like a not a privilege.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's a nuance to it. It's a
Yeah.
privilege that
More
they
money,
never
more
need to-
Yeah,
problems.
do you know how many
Yeah.
times
Not a lie.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with like men that Meta my friends and like they're talking about making the next move. I was having a conversation like this with my boy the other day, and he was like, "Yo, this is what I'm dealing with." And I was like, "Well, what's the problem?" He's like, "Well, it was gonna pay me $30,000." I was like, "Well, go get $30,000. Like, screw them.
Right.
You've been broke before,
Right.
And that's a conversation we can have,
Right.
as like boys, where it's like, what you panicking about?
Right.
You've dealt with this before, right?
Right.
Don't let it go. I think there's just like, I also think from the side of the people looking forward, right? The people in the back look forward and see everybody else.
Right.
The people in the front have no idea what it looks like behind you.
Right.
Right? So like I can sneak up, you have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, you don't know
Yeah.
where I'm
You have
coming
no.
from.
Yeah.
So and I think that's what's really interesting about Tariq's development, even them bringing up what Ghost left him, is like he left him, yes, a certain level of privilege like an estate, which is crazy.
That
But
he
like-
can't even get.
Right, because it's locked up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But it's locked up, which is also great.
Right.
Because young people will
Would've
blow
took it.
through that real
Right.
crazy.
Yeah,
So he left you with
exactly.
opportunities, some detriments,
With
but
boundaries.
like
Right.
experience that you have
But
to learn.
even didn't you take 2 steps back when you said, "Have you ever had a parent in prison?"
Oh yeah.
you did take the steps back.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree,
But I'm like-
but you learned all that shit
Yeah.
from Ghost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like look
Yeah.
at Tariq, like the character development. He grew up around Canaan.
Yeah.
People would say you were around that. That's 3 steps back. Nah, that's 4 steps
Right.
forward because you're in this world
Right.
because you're learning about stuff.
Yeah, I'm
that-
not gonna do this so I don't end up.
Right.
And when one of the things I noticed is like, if you've been around a certain level of, let's say, dishonesty, right, in a criminal
Ghost
element,
his entire 6
Right.
seasons.
Yeah.
but you know what dishonesty looks like. You know what maneuvering looks like. It's no different in the corporate world,
Right.
Right? You're
Well,
like
that's kind of what we're
watching the
showing
game
this
move,
season,
right?
which I love.
And that's what I
Absolutely.
think is so like
Yeah.
fascinating about that moment where it's like, wait a minute, hold up, like this doesn't put you in the back anymore. We
Right.
can't have the simple conversation about that. It's way more nuanced, and there's way more opportunity in the things that some people think of as hindrances.
Right. Yeah, that is interesting. It's so nuanced. But
Yeah.
yeah, obviously there are the obvious ones. But
Yeah.
a lot of that is like you learn so much from stuff that hinders you.
Right.
Like even like the Nepo baby conversation where
Oh,
people are
yeah.
saying, it's like, I know, like there are different kinds of that. There's like the people who are in the clubs every night partying and just blowing
Sure.
through the money. Or there's the people that's like, I just have a famous parent. I just
Exactly.
want to be an actor
Yeah.
and do this. But they get shit on because of that, but
Yeah.
they do get jobs. So
Yeah.
it's so nuanced that, but it is interesting. That's what I do
Yeah.
love about this episode because this episode
Yep.
is called Land of Opportunity.
Levels of
Yeah.
opportunity.
Land of
So
opportunity.
we talk about that in that scene, also in the with Tate and Tariq, and then the RSJ.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about that Tate scene.
Send that bread, my nigga.
You know,
You heard of
Bitcoin.
though.
Bitcoin.
yeah.
You heard of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, how timely is that anymore? Like,
Oh,
Right.
oh my goodness.
the
Man.
minute he said,
Yeah.
send it to me in Bitcoin, I was
See,
like, don't
like
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do
Well,
that.
this was a year ago, so you probably lost half your investment.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, we good. He taking that
Might as
L.
well have him pay you in
Exactly.
Fritos, bro.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brother.
Well, I'm trying to think of like there were some other funny lines that episode. Kane, where he was like, well, they are racist, so you got to bring like a white guy with you. He
Yeah.
goes,
We have
I
one of
got
those.
somebody for that.
oh,
Don't
we
worry.
got a white face.
got a white
Yeah,
face.
yeah, I got somebody for that.
Hello.
So good. He's just
Yeah.
doing such good work this season. I
Yeah,
just
Kane is going
amazing.
crazy. this
Yeah.
season. I
You
love
all
it.
are though.
You are.
You all
No,
are
you're
killing
going
it.
crazy.
No, you guys are
Going
killing it. Honestly,
crazy.
guys, because you make it look so easy.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
and you've been doing it year after year, and you're just bloody killing it. And I'm like, wow.
And you just
Yeah,
came
also-
along making shit crazy.
I feel like
Crazy.
we haven't mentioned this person yet, but I love watching Alex.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
I
Alex
love
is
her.
amazing.
Alex Lepre.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Great.
As Effie,
my
like
God.
even
She's
going from
amazing.
the exercise to her in the
Yeah.
warehouse
Right.
talking to Tiny,
Right.
and I was like,
Yeah, that is
Fire.
funny.
Exactly.
It's so fire, bro.
She broke my heart. You know when we did the exercise in the class, a step forward,
yeah,
step back,
Right.
and her reaction.
Her face.
I
Yeah.
felt every. I felt
eyes,
her pain.
everything.
I love watching.
You
Alex
know?
goes crazy.
Yeah.
And like
She's-
it's different because like we're scene partners a lot. So like
Yeah.
Right.
obviously I see
Got
her
great
working, but
chemistry.
like
Right.
but like on the screen is way different. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
like you could see that shit like in her face and shit. Like when Kane is like threatening her like, about like, oh, telling this like, oh, you did the job. Oh, maybe I should mention this to she's like, no. Like he like everything that he has over her, like you could see it playing on her. It's
Yeah.
like, damn, she's kinda like, losing
Right.
like a little bit.
Do you think Kane keeps his promise about?
I feel like he's going to use it
I don't-
as leverage to get
Yeah.
what
I
he
don't trust
wants.
that nigga.
Which is
He uses
her.
everything as leverage.
I think
get
like,
her.
to me, he feels like he cannot control his id. right? Like I feel like in his mind, he's like, "You're right, I got you."
Right.
He means that, and then it's just a matter of time when you're like,
He's like, never mind.
Like that.
"I got to deal with this," right? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
And if
Yeah.
if the moment is right, it's kind of like it feels like a daddy issues thing.
Right,
Where
right.
If the moment is right, it'll pop up just to hurt you.
Right. Yeah, I feel like this whole season is a lot about like using leverage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
obviously like that's what the whole show is.
Right, right,
right.
But it's,
But
so prevalent
it's
these
on
past
I
few
agree.
episodes. Like
palpable
King
in this.
Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah, there's so much. Even you two, your dynamic, like the fact that you got him kicked off of the
Right.
campaign and he doesn't know. I was hurt, you know.
How is Tariq gonna say motherfucker after all the shit?
Yeah.
It was so funny because
my
I have been
God.
getting a lot of shit.
Have
People are
you?
like, you
Yeah,
really
yeah,
did
yeah.
that to Tariq,
Yeah.
this and that. And I'm like, have you watched the show? I could name 15 things that Tariq has
Yeah,
done
that's true.
to ruin
Yeah.
his family, photos, this and that.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, but like. It's like there's like, but that's you know what I mean? So Braden did it for the best interest of the business.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't do it to hurt
him.
Tariq.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So
But do you know what it is? Because you've got such a bromance. Everyone's rooting for
right,
you.
so it is kind of the one thing that's like
Yeah,
Braden
you're
never does
brothers,
that.
man.
Of
Yeah.
course, your boy.
You have like
Yeah.
the
That's
like
tough.
quintessential male friendship where it's like
Yeah.
one is totally allowed to shit on the other.
Right.
And the other one, it's like he does
Yeah.
one thing wrong. It's like, bro, I thought we were boys.
Right. It's like, what the fuck?
That's like every male friendship. There's like one dude who is like, he's just being him.
Right,
And it's
right.
like,
And another
why
like,
would
yo,
you
bro,
do that?
I like do like one like
Yeah.
I think I make
Do you
a
know
joke.
what?
It's like
Yeah.
a white collar line.
Yeah. No, but credit to you, Braden, because the way you play it and the love that your character has for Tariq is so obvious and nice
Right.
to watch on screen. And it's just having that feeling of, oh, he's the most loyal friend on the planet. He would never do anything against him. But as you said, it wasn't against him. It was for the betterment of, your pockets and the business. So I get it. But I was hurt watching it. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
He took it away, especially because Tariq was so hurt by it. But yeah, there's a lot of skullduggery
was
going
tough,
on
man.
this
Yeah,
season.
I think it is kind of funny because like the way this character is specifically like coming from a rich family,
Yeah.
and being in
Privilege.
this game where he really doesn't have business. And at first, I think he's kind of made his way and proved himself. But this character would be hated. But for
Yeah.
some reason, they like him, and I think it is because of the loyalty to Tariq. And
No, it's
I'm
you.
hilarious,
It's you.
but,
You're
like-
charismatic. You're charismatic.
thank
You're
you.
likable. You bring humor. Your heart's there. Yeah, you make us feel. And
Yeah.
it's nice to watch.
That's not what I was
Yeah.
looking for, but yeah.
And- and
Thank you, I
Tariq is
appreciate
really
it.
naughty.
Right, it's the loyalty to, right.
Tariq's terrible, but I love him. He's brilliant. He's intelligent.
Right.
Obviously, he's gorgeous. You both are.
Oh,
we like
yes.
to say that.
Clip that, Dave, clip that.
Yeah, we did that. Clip that.
Frame
Make sure you
that.
clip
Yeah.
that.
No, but you're both doing it, and that's what I said to you before we started this thing. Is like to play these roles and to be so loved, even
Right.
though you're doing bare skullduggery week
Yeah,
after
yeah,
week,
yeah, doing
guys.
some shit.
Like teach me your ways.
Like the bad people are always the
most loved.
it's so funny because the cops trying to do the right thing.
Right
Everyone's like, fuck you, kill
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Kill
Detective
Jenny
Whitman.
Sullivan, kill Whitman,
yeah.
kill Sachs, kill all these
Kill
people.
Blanca, get out of
Yeah.
the way.
One thing I think that is working heavily in your favor as a character is that we watch you earn your stripes.
Right.
Right? If you
Oh, yeah.
you were
At
just
first,
given
it wasn't. Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
were just given like new power at every level,
Right.
Yeah.
boom,
I
boom.
agree.
Like if you were just
Yeah.
given new power at every level, we just be like, he's not
Okay.
earning this at
Right.
all. But we're watching you have to put up with some shit.
Right.
That's
so
true.
as
Like
you
being on
as
the block
your
with Trace.
Right.
Yeah.
as your like acumen increases, we're like, all right, cool. Like even when
Yeah.
you're dealing with the dudes in the truck and you're like, hey, bro, I lifted, but my chiropractor.
Right. He would,
I'm like, that's
Brandon
totally
would not have done
appropriate.
that season
He wouldn't have
one.
done that
No,
earlier,
right,
right?
right. He would've been like,
so
oh.
we're watching him develop
okay.
his like
Right.
steel
Yeah.
reserve, which is
Right.
pretty amazing.
Which is why I love this character because there's just so like from where he started
Oh,
at
yeah.
the beginning
Right.
of being at Choate to
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's like this whole arc is like they still got so much to go, which we can kind of bring up last episode
Right.
303 where I couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of shit for that too, but it's like, listen,
Baby steps.
let's you're right. He has to earn it. It needs to be
Yeah.
believable. If Braden just
Yes.
went out started shooting motherfuckers,
Yeah,
like
no.
it wouldn't have made sense. So,
Yeah.
like he froze.
Yeah.
Like you got there's gonna be a lot of character development, and I like that they're taking their time with it because it's
Right.
earned, and then people
Right.
like it because it
Absolutely.
wouldn't be believable.
And they might
Yeah.
they might not like the
Respect earned.
freeze, but they'll respect when you don't anymore.
right.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's oftentimes what happens. We forget how somebody got there.
Right.
We appreciate the developed thing, and it's like, no. The development is way more
Right.
interesting.
Well, how do you feel, Noma and was that a little coffee?
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Holy Holy shit!
It's always
drive
5
him
o'clock
home.
That looks
somewhere.
nice,
drive
innit?
him home.
Yeah, get that.
I
Get
wanted
that.
to ask you guys.
How do you feel about like because Noma and you start off cutting someone's arm
Yo.
off, and you start off beating the shit out of Kane.
Yeah.
So how do you
How do you
feel
feel-
starting there, and where do you want to go?
Honestly, I feel like I might have to see a counselor if she continues. If she continues,
Right. If she makes it past
Yeah.
3, if they make it past 3.
if she continues slicing people up, breaking legs, necks,
It's gonna
chopping.
start taking a toll on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you guys, what do you do? How do you get home? Do you go home and like, how do you shed the day?
When
after you've had a
I
tough
kill
day of
someone,
film?
I sleep like a baby.
Wow.
I'm like, fucking, I mean, I have that, but like, when I get there,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep like a baby.
Really? So you don't have any
Because
sort of-
people aren't gonna shit on me anymore.
Oh,
because they're like,
yeah.
you can't do this, you can't do that. When that day comes, that night, I'm gonna.
Sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
But do you go, does it change you? So after you've done these scenes, for example, do you find that, like for me, I noticed that I got a lot more vocal and a lot more in people's faces, like at the airport. But I'll be like, excuse me, you rolled your luggage over my foot. And I would never have said that before. I'd have been
Right.
like a Brit saying, oh, sorry, can you roll it over the other foot, please? Because that's how polite I've been raised to be. Whereas now I feel like Noma is turning me into this confrontational, aggressive beast. And I kind of like it.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I mean, I feel
But I
like
don't want to get smoked. I'm in America, man.
you have. I
Don't
feel
get
like
slapped.
every character you play, you have that in you at
Yes,
somewhere.
exactly.
So maybe it's just coming out now
Yes.
because you've accessed it more.
And now she doesn't want to get stuck. I'm trying to stuff her back in.
No.
But you know what? I might
Oh,
let
no.
her live a bit. I was going to say, do you guys...
Well, he's been doing this since he was 14.
I
So.
killed someone in the scene. I go home. I was like, whatever.
I get
Oh,
to
you let, yeah.
He killed Ray Ray.
But you're
stuff
really
like a baby.
laid back anyway, I think.
But like,
your personality.
I would say though, like the emotion, like the more of like the emotional scenes that
Yeah.
I'll have to play through, like even like the original Power, like with like a lot of the emotional scenes with Ghost and like Tasha. Those like after those scenes, like it's a little different, like coming down, like decompression from those. But
Yeah.
all the action stuff was like, oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean,
Yeah.
I tend to view it a little differently personally insofar as like I've always been doing martial arts. Like
Oh, yeah.
I've always
Well,
been
have
doing
you
this
have you
physical
killed
stuff.
yet in Ghost? Have you
Oh,
an
yeah.
on camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first
chopped
one.
the hands
Oh,
off.
you
Yeah.
killed him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That was
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I didn't know if it was another dude or not.
But like I've been doing that my whole life,
Right.
right? So to me, like, what I think is interesting about if that's your job,
Right.
it's the last thing you want to happen, right? So like, how do I listen intently enough to find a reason not to do it? And if I do it, it's justified.
Right.
Gotcha.
It can be completely maniacal depending on the character,
Right.
but every time it's justified, even if it's like, I just don't like blue.
Right.
You got some on your shirt, right? Like, but I need I'm giving you every possibility to not do it.
Right.
I tend to be a pretty calm person, but
Yeah.
I draw very clear boundaries.
Right.
So in life, I tend to be a person who will tell you, like, at a bar, I'm like, hey, bro, we don't have to talk about this. If we do, I'm gonna hurt your feelings.
And then the accent comes out. I don't want to hurt
But like,
he gets that.
and I think in life, that for me, there's a level of like, please set the boundary clearly,
Right.
So this doesn't expand.
So you're saying as a character, you need a justification why you're doing it?
Yeah, it's usually not hard to find,
Right.
But usually the and with Obi, it feels very much like I call it listening for the devil.
Right.
Right, like I'm just listening for the devil.
Wow.
Like if you can be as still as possible and just wait for it.
Right.
If it doesn't happen, nothing happened.
Right.
But everything happened.
Right.
Right? But then if it does happen, it's go time. There's nothing else. We can't even talk about it. It's not even personal. Right? Like you just got to do it.
Oh, wow.
And I think it just builds a level of like, to me, the severity of the moment. There's some times where it can feel like it's enjoyable. I've definitely played those roles and I love those. I think that's more where you are. But like, there's like a kink.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think he has that. I think he's more along the lines of like,
just
I
older.
will do
Right.
anything
He's just older.
necessary.
Yeah.
I don't want
Necessary.
to.
Yeah.
Please don't make me have
Right.
to do this.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I gave you that opportunity.
Yeah. What's something that you really want to do? Like, what's something you really want to do this season,
Oh,
Noma?
this season.
Like, what's something that right now, as we're in 304,
Yeah.
not spoiling anything, not saying anything,
Okay.
like, what's something you're like, I want Noma to do this. Like Brayden, it's like,
Yeah.
I want Brayden to kill. Like Tariq, like
Yeah.
what's something Tariq wants to do? Tariq maybe, I don't know, he hooks up with every hot girl in the show. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
is there
I would
anything
say
else he
Tariq
needs?
wants to get a car, but
He got it.
We see what's
Right,
going on
Tariq wanted the
this
car.
episode.
What's something that Noma and Obi want to do?
Yeah.
I want Noma to come face to face with Monet.
Oh, yeah. That'd be crazy.
And yeah, I want them to get into it. Girl fight. Cat
Okay.
fight.
A
Yeah.
cat
Wouldn't mind a
fight?
cat fight with our nails.
Kyle?
Counter to what I just said in a way.
I think I want to murder 9 people.
There's a thing with me about using my like hands.
Right.
Right. Like I love the idea. Even when we like when I first showed up, and I was talking to Chaz, and it was like,
Chaz is the stunt coordinator.
I was like, when can I beat someone up?
Oh yeah, because you do that.
When can I beat some? I just want to beat someone up.
Yeah.
Like we can shoot anybody, but I want them to be awake
Right.
Yeah.
and
you
like
kidding?
present for it.
Right. Those scenes are always so cool. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
what like
yeah,
made
yeah,
Kane like the badassness of Kane when he was when he would like he snapped that guy's neck in Mecca's hangar. Like stuff like that is just it makes you more ruthless and it's more of like an intimate kill than just like a boom, you know?
yeah. You know, my last one was kind of boring. I had to save you or whatever.
It was the snitch guy.
You know?
Great shot though.
Yeah, it was fire.
Great
That shit was
shot.
cool. You seen that shit? Do his head, and then you see the second one.
Yeah,
and then we
yeah,
just
yeah,
dip
yeah.
up out of there.
Yeah.
That shit is fire.
That scene was absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
Is there any
It
fun?
was cold as fuck.
Yeah, it
that
was
night.
cold
Oh
that
my
night.
God.
Oh, it always is. Is there any fun behind the scenes stuff that happened in this episode that you remember? Well, obviously you're not in 304, so maybe 303.
What happened? Well, I tell you what happened when I first met Mary J. Blige. Oh God, guys, so embarrassing.
I remember.
Yeah, I was so. Oh no, that was the day we shot. But beforehand, I saw her at the studio at Steiner.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really get starstruck or anything. So I
Right.
saw her and I love her so much.
Right.
So I ran up to her and I said, "Hi, hello, my name's Caroline. I play Monet." She was like,
She's like, am I getting recast?
What?
This
she
bitch.
was like, girl, you know, no, she wasn't. But I love her so much. She chuckled. I love her. She thought, poor thing. You're Noma, aren't you? She's like, girl, please.
Caroline.
But I was just like standing there frozen, like, oh shit, did I just say Monet? Dusty.
That is funny.
How dusty is that, guys?
Taking
Dusty.
the
Did you
piss.
call Adrian? You're like, I can't believe I did this.
I was just
I
like,
gotta go.
oh my
I gotta
god,
go right now.
I was cringing. But Mary was wonderful.
She's
in
the
that.
best. Isn't she
She's
like the
Amazing.
nicest?
I love her, and she's
Mary's
cute. I
the-
loved her
Mary's
in
the
this
shit.
ep as well.
She-
It wasn't
yeah.
every ep,
Shit.
but she killed it.
incredible.
But yeah, so that happened behind the
She's the
scenes.
So okay, it's not really an occurrence, but so that warehouse, I've worked at before.
Ooh.
What? You shot something else at that warehouse?
No,
Oh.
I used to do audiovisual tech stuff around New York. Right when I first got here, I was like, I need a job. It was the fastest way to learn the city. It paid really well. I did a wedding in that building. The room that's the holding room that season,
Yeah.
with the bay window, you can see the
Statue of Liberty, yeah.
We had a meeting in that room like 3 years ago.
Bro, that's
Steve's
No
Steve's
fucking
authentic.
internet in
The part of the reason why I get key lime pie from there
Ooh.
every time I'm there is because it reminds me where I was.
Damn.
Like it was crazy. Like when we reported, I was like, oh wait, Red Hook, I was in there one time.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's crazy.
Last thing I remember was Get Low by the Yin Yang Twins at this Jewish wedding.
That is
playing.
hilarious. I hate that warehouse. When this episode
Yeah.
comes,
Oh my God.
I'll tell the story because
Oh.
there's a bad story in that warehouse, but it'll come and I'll tell the episode. But it's a really
Like
funny
holding
thing.
for the footsteps every
Everything.
20 minutes.
That location
Yeah.
is, that's the
Yeah.
trenches.
Rough.
But people don't realize, like, I think I said this a couple episodes ago, like, acting is just waiting in random rooms.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting
You're in random
random.
rooms.
Yeah.
You're in someone's living room, like,
Yeah.
in like a chair, be like getting hair and makeup done. You're like
Exactly.
random, like
Yeah,
underground
yeah.
places. It's weird. But we love you guys.
Yeah, no,
Thank
this
you
has been
so
a
much for
blast.
coming
Thank
on
you
and
for
talking
having
about
us.
the episode.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you for having us.
We'll have you back.
Yeah.
Oh yes, sure.
But yeah, this season's getting
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
I know, right?
I can't wait to see
Too
what's in
crazy.
store.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see what's in store. Plug whatever you guys have, Instagram, all that.
Yeah, I'm KT Schmoove, KTSHMOOV on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm not on anything else. I'm not on Twitter.
You look like a TikTok guy.
I TikTok a little bit.
I knew it.
But I keep that private.
Right.
I keep that private, and that's mostly positive content.
Right.
And I like people not knowing everything about me.
Right.
And then, I'll be on another show this year.
Fire.
What is
I'll
it?
be
Can you
on
say it
The
yet?
Girls on the Bus for
Okay.
HBO.
Nice.
I think it will air in the summer at
Nice.
some point. I play a very different character. It's
Because
super
because
fun.
you were recurring this season, you were able to do other stuff.
Yeah.
That's so
I
dope.
did, it was a busy year.
Yeah, you were.
And then I was just on Blue Bloods,
Yeah.
Nice.
which was, by the way, my father's favorite show.
Nice.
And I got to call him through my stepmom's phone and be like, Pops, what you doing? He's like, oh, watching Blue Bloods. I was like, cool.
Word,
And we were
almost
talking, and she was like, hey, who's that? And he was like,
No, that's dope.
that's Kyle.
That's dope.
And his first two sentences were, I'm flabbergasted.
Damn.
I'm fucked up.
That's hilarious.
Amazing. Yeah.
I love that.
And they're like super proud cousins.
Nice.
Cuz,
Nice.
I see you on Power do your thing, boy.
Yeah, that's dope.
Love it.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Caroline?
I am on Instagram and my handle is Caroline Chikezie. So Chikezie, Chikezie. And yeah, I'm on Twitter as well. Same.
Nice. Do you tweet
Caroline
a lot?
Chikezie. No, I haven't tweeted since like 2017 or something.
Yeah.
And you guys, what are you going to do about the blue tick situation, by the way?
Oh, yeah,
You
everyone's
paying?
verified now.
No, you
all I
paying or
know is
not?
all my
Yeah.
girls on the
You-
boys roster that are verifying themselves for $16.99 a month,
Yeah.
they're cut.
All right.
It's a red flag.
Oh, red flag, yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
Dave's got his blue check. All of a sudden, I scroll through Instagram, producer Dave with the blue check. I'm like, Dave, why you get the blue
Makes
check? He's
sense.
like, well,
Makes
to be
sense.
fair, I was
Yeah.
verified on Twitter. I was like,
Yeah, you deserve
yeah,
it. You deserve
exactly.
it.
Well, LeBron said he's not paying, so I'm not. If LeBron's not paying, I'm not.
no, but they're not going to charge the people who already have it.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
oh, I
Gucci.
didn't
Oh, I
realize.
thought that's why you asked. You were like, what are they going to do about
on
these
Twitter,
other people?
they
with-
remove you. No, Twitter, they remove your blue tick.
Oh, wow.
And you have to pay to reinstate it.
Suck your
Yeah.
Twitter.
In it. Well, I don't know what you said, but yeah, I agree.
I heard
He
what he
said,
said.
in Jamaican, I'll
Yeah.
translate it, suck your mother Twitter.
Yes.
Now pay that a blood
So
clot.
blood clot, yes.
Mike, plug what you got.
Where's 22 on Instagram? Where's 22 on TikTok? You can find like my more like kind of like professional kind of page, Michael Rainey Jr. on Instagram if you feel like it. I feel like I'm cool on Where's 22. Like you could look at all my like cool stuff like vlogs, cars, and all that cool stuff. YouTube, Where's 22 vlogs dropping. And yeah, we're going crazy. The boys is here.
Good.
Yeah.
Gianni V. Paolo, Instagram. Michael, give us one.
The crew has it, baby, and we are out.
The crew has it, and you have it, baby. Thank you guys for coming out. We
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having us.
Thank you. It was a
That was fun.
blast.